Do you think that a director can be an effective director if they themselves have never taken acting classes, or just maybe one or two little one-day workshops? Do you think they really need to dive into taking a full semester or several, you know, a year of acting classes to really know what it's like to be the person that they're directing?
Again, you've done 12 questions.
Oh, no!
No.
In my mind, I heard one.
No, there's a lot. First of all, the first thing you said, I'll go back to the first. Can they be an effective director without it?
Yeah.
It's really where you started, or with very, absolutely they can be.
Oh, they can, okay.
It doesn't mean you have to have studied acting or been an actor. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You know, there are a lot of directors who are very good and very effective without it. Now, that's because of who they are. And I don't know what all their training background and history is. But looking at the other side, if you want to be the best director you could ever be, then take an acting class and writing. We talked about writing earlier. But take an acting class. And take an acting class with other actors. Not an acting class where it's just 2 or 3 directors trying to learn how to act, because you'll all hold each other down. But if you get into an acting class with some actors, some really good actors, and so you can experience what it's like to go through the process. You can experience what it's like to get a script and start to break down a scene. You can experience what it's like to do the homework. You can experience what it's like to get up there with another actor who you don't know what they're going to do, and you're trying to engage with them. And you're trying to engage with the power of the scene. You're trying to engage with your character. And you can do this week after week after week after week. Now you're getting to experience what it's like to be an actor. Now the important thing here is not how good an actor you are. You could be the world's worst actor. Doesn't matter. It's the experience. It's getting inside the shoes of the actor, going through that so you understand this is what they have to go through. This is the challenges they face. Your whole perception of talking to them and what you're asking them to do will change, because you'll know you can't just ask them to be angrier. That doesn't work. You can't ask them to be more sympathetic or show you a little more vulnerability, because it doesn't work. You'll understand from your own experience, not just because I said it, or not just because some teacher said it to you. Don't do that. You'll understand what works. You'll understand what worked for you. And chances are, the things that worked for you, you will start to use those things when you start talking to actors, because you know it worked for you. Maybe it'll work with them. Very valuable. Some of our best directors are actors. Some of our best directors come from theater. One thing I want to say about theater directing, since we're on this, theater directing is very different from film directing, because in terms of relationships with the actors. Because in film directing, I can direct a scene. I can spend a whole day on a scene and do the range of performances we talked about before and get that range and get enough, and then I will build a scene that works. In theater, I don't have that option. I have the option of rehearsing with them and trying a lot of different things, but eventually I have to get those 2 actors to a point where they can do it all by themselves every night. It's much more challenging, way more challenging than film. It's a different challenge, way more challenging in terms of working with actors, to get them to be able to repeat something every night, or come close to something, or stay authentic every single night. So I highly recommend, besides directors taking acting classes, direct theater. And I can say, try it. You'll be amazed at how difficult it is, because you have so little control over those actors, so little.
So what if an actor thinks, I haven't taken any acting classes, but you know, I don't need to. I know human beings. I know more about someone than they know about themselves. It doesn't matter. But you watch them and you're observing the opposite.
This is a director, you say. The director's doing that.
What are you observing in a director that says they don't need acting classes, but you're seeing otherwise?
As soon as I hear you say that,
Is that 3 questions? I'm sorry.
No, that was pretty much one. As soon as I hear you say it, I don't need this. And do you know what I hear?
Resistance?
Arrogance.
Oh, okay.
And I also hear fear.
Oh.
A lot of directors, are arrogant, yes, okay, think I know how to do this. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but the arrogance doesn't help you. It doesn't help you because it puts up a barrier between you and the actors. So a lot of them feel that they know that. Also, the fear, a lot of actors, a lot of directors are afraid of actors. They won't admit it, but in a statement like you just said, I hear it. Okay? I know how to do what I do. In other words, I don't need to engage with this other human being on a collaborative, vulnerable level. I know what to do. I know how to talk to them. Just do this. I took psychology. I took this. I used to be a this. I used to be a that. I was a life coach. I was a whatever. I know how to do that. And I'm saying, you're telling me that you do not want to engage with them on a one-to-one basis in terms of the exploration of something that has absolutely nothing to do with either of you. The thing that has nothing to do with either of you is a character. You're both working together to create a character. And you think that, so there's a fear, there's a resistance. A lot of directors are resistant. A lot of directors don't want to rehearse. Oh no, I don't need to rehearse. I just cast the best people I can and then I'm fine.
Why?
Don't want to rehearse.
Why would they not want to?
Could be two reasons. One is they have no idea what to do in rehearsal. Now that's a big part of my job, is I teach people how to rehearse. And this is my whole career started many, many years ago at the Directors Guild, me teaching A-list directors how to rehearse. Just the simplest thing in the world. Now, it's not the simplest thing in the world, but that's what I was teaching. And my teaching career started way back then. So a lot of directors don't know what to do. You give them a rehearsal and say, oh, let's read it. And then they talk about it, and they talk about the characters, and then what? Nothing. So that's one problem, is a lot of directors have not been trained how to rehearse. And again, speaking of my career for a moment, this is why I have a career traveling all over the world, to film schools, world-class film schools, teaching directors how to rehearse, because they don't have in the film school someone who knows how to teach directors how to rehearse. So that's one part. And the other part is fear. A lot of directors fear being seen as inept, unable, incapable. And this is a big problem. It's a big problem. It's a big problem within the whole film world. Directors are supposed to know everything. You're the director. You should know. Here's an interesting thing. I'm a director's coach and all that. And I teach directors. I consult with directors, and many times I coach directors. And I'm known as the director's director and all that. Actors in a film. If there's an actor's coach there, that's fine. An actor's coach, fine. Can you imagine a film they say, who's he? Oh, he's the director's coach. What? Why does he need a coach? The whole perception, it's not the director's problem, it's a problem with the perception. The director's supposed to have all the answers. So directors, take that in. Embrace that concept. I'm supposed to have all the answers. So I have to say I do have all the answers. So I have to say I know what I'm doing. I don't need help. Many, many years ago, I was, because I teach at the Directors Guild, a friend of mine who works there gave me a list of directors, which is for another seminar, of all the first-time directors, people who came to a first-time directors seminar. I said, Mark, I think you might like to have this list because you're teaching directors. I said, great. I promoted a workshop to that list. It was a big list. And then I had people in my office just doing follow-up calls. And one call to one of these directors, I don't know who it was, it doesn't matter, and they called, and the director said, don't call me. Why are you calling me? Well, we're doing this workshop. Don't you understand, he said. I am a member of the Directors Guild. I don't need a directing workshop. Now that is dangerous. See, that is him identifying himself as a director, as a member of the Directors Guild, like I've reached a certain level, and now I will cut myself off from anything that maybe could help me. Now, there's a lot of directors who believe that, a lot of directors who live that, and that's what leads to the arrogance. I know what I'm doing. Now, I'm fortunate, very fortunate, as a directing consultant and coach to a lot of directors all over the world, because the directors I get to meet number one, who take the workshops, and especially the directors I get to work with who ask me to consult on these films, because these are the directors that are open and available and humble enough to know that they can learn more and they can expand their awareness and expand their skills. And the arrogance is not there. Arrogance is not there. And they're willing to learn. And these are the directors they're all doing very, very well now.